last Friday's quiz. Several of y'all did really well on it, and some of you guys didn't do too hot. So we're just going to go over it. So make sure you're paying attention. So question number one: Last year's Beth's annual salary was $38,350. She received a promotion, and she was paid that annually. She's paid semi-monthly. All right. So first off, we got to get semi-monthly taken care of, and semi-monthly is 24. So since this is her annual salary, you're going to be dividing it by 24. So 38,350 divided by 24. Last year she was making $1,598 a month. Oh, I'm sorry, semi-monthly. And then it says, what is her new salary? Which means she got a raise, 46,462. We're going to divide that by 24, and you get 1936, 1,936. Now, on a semi-monthly basis, how much more does Beth earn? This is just kind of like a throwaway question, and that is, she's making 1,936. She was making 1,598. So that means she's making $338 more now with the raise than last time. All right, example number two. Glenn has a job selling subscriptions by the phone. He makes a base at this. All right, so last week Glenn worked 35 hours and he sold this. All right, so this right here is nothing more than like a waitress. I always like to use a waitress because a waitress gets paid hourly. All right, and they also get paid commission. All right, so what we've got to figure out is both these two things, because at the end we're going to be adding them together. All right, so first off, she's getting paid $10.60 an hour, and she worked 35 hours. So that's $10.60 an hour, and we're timesing that by 35 hours. And so when we do that, we end up getting $371. Next, she gets 6% commission off of $450. So she gets $450, and she gets 6%, which is 0.06. So when you do that, you get $27. All right. So again, it's hourly plus commissions. Hourly plus commission gives you a grand total of $398. All right. Barb works for a local factory. She receives 82 cents for each of the first 100, and she gets 107 for each unit over 100. So she produced 120. All right. So this is one of those, you take 120 and then you divide them up. The first 100 where she gets 82 cents, and then whatever's left over, which in this case is going to be 20 because she made 120. She gets 1.07. So I'm going to multiply these two numbers together. So 100 times 0.82, that ends up being, let's see, 82 bucks, I believe. And then 20 times 1.07, that ends up being $21.40. So I'm just going to add these two numbers together, and she gets $103.40. Okay. A musician is paid 12% in her music downloads. Video sales last year, she had 1,450,000 music downloads and then 650,000 videos sold. The music downloads cost that. Okay. So this is a multi-step problem, and I went ahead and put all these steps here to help you guys out. So like, for example, what is the total amount of CD sales? Well, her CD sales, or it should probably say music downloads. I think that makes more sense. 1,450,000. That's how many. That's how much there were, and they went for 79 cents. So I'm going to times that by 79 cents, and it says round to the nearest whole dollar. 1,145,500. What was her total amount of video sales? Again, same exact thing, except now different numbers. 650,000 videos at $3.25 a video. So I'm going to multiply that. $2,193,750 generated through video sales. What was the combined total? Well, just adding these two up here. 3,339,250. That is the total sales. Now, if you read the question, she gets 12% of that, 12% of the total sales. So for this one, is how much did the musician receive? That's 3,339,250. And I want to times that by 0.12. And when you do that, she gets a grand total of $400,710. Okay. All right, next question. Bev, a clerk at the La Mirage Motel, is paid weekly. Her group medical insurance costs $9,550 a year, in which she pays 20% of the cost. How much will be deducted weekly? Now, I'm glad I kind of have it printed out this way, because this question here and this medical insurance here is almost identical in the sense of how you're solving it. All right, so for example, here it says her group medical insurance costs this, and she pays 20% of that. So first off, I need to find what is 20% of 9,550. So first step is 9,550, and we times that by 20%. And when I do that, I get $1,910. This is her responsibility. This is what she needs to pay. Now, this number is broken up weekly. Now, remember, when I say weekly, you should be saying 52. So I'm going to divide that by 52. And when I do that, I get a grand total of $36.73. That is how much money is being taken away from her check every single week. Now, if you need to see a visual, if this question here was like this question here, 3673 would go right here in this deduction category here. Okay. Haley is a designer for Madison Toys. She is married and earns $770 weekly. All right, so how much is deducted from her paycheck from Social Security? All right, so this question here is a lot of words, but it's actually pretty simple. $772, and we're just timesing it by Social Security tax as a decimal, 0.062, and we end up getting $47.86 tax taken from her. Same thing with Medicare, $772. And we times that by 0.0145 because we always move the decimal twice, and you get $11.19. All right. Dave and Tom are pallet loaders of Pallet King. They both get paid the same, but they want to get paid weekly, and Tom want to get paid monthly. How many more paychecks will Dave receive than Tom? Now, this question here, it's understood that you're always looking at it from a yearly standpoint. Okay. So Dave wanted to get paid weekly, so that means Dave is going to get 52 checks. All right. Tom wanted to get paid monthly, so Tom would be getting paid 12 checks. All right. Remember, they're still getting paid the same. Dave is just getting a lot more little smaller checks, and Tom is getting a lot less bigger checks. So Tom will be getting paid the bigger checks because it's only 12. So it says just how many more will Dave received than Tom. Just subtract the two. 52 and 12 gives me 40. All right. So John Clark, purchasing agent at Barnett Company, earns $41,964 and is paid weekly. All right. So we can stop right there. First off, this thing here has to be converted to weekly. So I'm going to divide that by 52. And so when I do that, let's see. I get $807. All right. Now, $807 is the gross pay in which I'm going to multiply all these percentages. So let's keep reading. The federal tax rate is 15%. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 0.15. Social Security is 6.2. I'm just going to go ahead and put 0.062. Medicare, 0.0145. State is 0.025. And there is no local tax. So this is a NA. All right, now the medical, again, here's the medical, same exact question from question number 5. All right, so same exact question. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to $2,432 a year, which John pays 20%. I think it was 20%. It was 20% there too. All right, so $2,432. I'm going to times that by 0.20, and when I do that, 2,432 times I get $486.40. That is his yearly contribution, but he's getting paid weekly. So I'm going to divide that by 52, and that ends up being $9.35. All right, so that's how much money is being taken from his paycheck every single week. That's not a very expensive insurance plan, so he might be a healthy guy. All right, so now from gross pay for everything else, I'm going to take 807. I'm going to multiply it by these percentages. So 807 times 0.15, that ends up being $121.05. 807 times 0.0162 for Social Security, 58 point. Again, what I'm doing is taking this and times it by the percent, and then it's now 807 times by that. $11.70, and then 807 again. 2018. All right. So from here, I'm going to take all of these deductions, and subtract it from 807. So it's 807 minus 121.05 minus $50.03 minus 1170 minus 2018 minus 935. And when I do that, I get his net pay, which is $594.69. That's how much money he's actually going to be able to keep. All right. Question number 10. George contributes 9% of his total cost. Oh, one of these questions here. This is 101 deduction, so if $101 represents 9%, so I'm going to set up a proportion. 101 over 9 is equal to x over 100. Cross multiply and solve. It ends up being, round to the nearest whole dollar, $1,122. Now, since he is paid monthly, what would be the total cost? This is how much money it costs to insure him monthly. So I need to convert that monthly total cost to yearly. So I'm going to take 1,122, I'm going to times it by 12. So he has $13,464. That's how much it costs George to be insured. Now, George doesn't pay for all that. So it says, how much does George, oh, lights went out. All right, so how much does George pay annually for his health care coverage? Well, he pays $101 every month. So 101 times 12, 1,212. Subtract George's contribution. Again, remember, the total health care cost is $13,000. George only has to pay $1,212. So just subtract these two, and and when we do that, we find out how much his employers, I'm sorry, $12,252. How much his employers paying? All right. So Bert is paid $1,200 semi-monthly. Remember, semi-monthly is times by 24. Convert his semi-monthly pay to the following. What students have found to be successful with this, if you're someone who's messing this up, they times it by 24 first. So 1,250, and they times it by 24, and they get 30,000. 30,000 is how much he gets paid a year, which is this first blank. So if you want to, you can actually just go backwards. So annual pay to monthly pay, you would divide that by 12, and you'd get 2,500, 2,500. To go from annual pay to biweekly pay, you would divide that by 26. And when you do that, you get 1,154. And then I'm kind of running out of room, so I'll just write up here. From annual pay to weekly pay, you would divide that by 52. So you can do it backwards because you're converting it to yearly anyway. So might as well just go ahead and go backwards. So you don't have to keep on multiplying to get to annually. So when you do that, around it is $577. Okay. Joe bought a truck for $14,750 and the TAVT is 7%. Remember, the TAVT is nothing more than sales tax. That's basically what it is. So how much tax did Joe pay? Well, it's $14,750, and we're going to times that by 0.07. And when we do that, $1,033. Now it says if Joe wrote a check for the entire purchase of the truck, how much would be written? Well, the truck was $14,750, and we're going to add the tax, which is $1,033. So when we do the math, we get $15,783. All right. Question number 13. Marcy works at a Shadow Shrink Clothing. She earns $15.20 per hour. She receives time and a half overtime. Last week she worked 48 hours. All right. So was this amount correct? All right. Most of you guys, whenever I give you a question like this, most of you guys just say no because you know I'm thinking something like it's probably not going to be correct. So a lot of you guys got no right, and then you got these last two wrong. So, but I think it was more of a guess here. All right. So let's see. She worked 48 hours. All right. So 48 hours. It's given that 40 hours is regular time, which means it would be 8 hours left over for overtime. All right, regular time, she's getting $15.20 an hour. Okay, now for overtime, it's time and a half. So off to the side, right down here, let's see, $15.20 times 1.5, because that's time and a half. That's $22.80. That's how much her overtime hourly rate is. So $22.80. So I'm going to multiply this number. I'm going to multiply this number. So 8 times $22.80 is $182.40. 40 times $15.20. That ends up being, I'm just going to write it down here, $608. So when I add the two together, it ends up being $790.40. That's how much she should have gotten paid. But she only got paid $729. So obviously this is not correct. So no, it's not correct. She did not get paid enough. So if the gross pay is not correct, how much does Marcy's boss owe her? Well, when you do the math, just subtract the two. So for my visual learners, 790.40 minus 729.60. You do the math and you get $60.80. Okay. And lastly, value marked. This is a receipt. So the subtotal, remember, is everything that the person purchased, shirt, pants, and shoes, and that ends up being $82.37. Now, the tax, this question here is very similar to this question here. $14,750 is the subtotal. $82.37 is the subtotal. So off to the side, I'm just going to go ahead down here. $82.37. I'm going to times that by 0.06. And when I do the math, I get $4.94. So subtotal, tax total, just add these two together, $87.31. Alrighty, that's the quiz. If you have any issues, please let me know. Thank you for watching.